the best employment numbers in history, when you have the best unemployment numbers in history, when you have the best economy probably that we've ever had, I don't know, how the hell do you lose this election, right?
Well, you can expect to see a lot more moments like that in the coming months, because despite recent rumors that he was going to cut back on the rallies, Axios reporting today that the president will officially launch his 2020 campaign next month. There's a gigantic field looking to take him down, and we're going to go through some of them and imagine how these candidates would match up against Donald Trump. Here with me now for some analysis, he's been a stranger. Former White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. Reince, it seems like yesterday in the 2016 campaign.
I know.
Cannot believe we're here already. But why is Biden now hailing himself as the consensus candidate? And look, he's blowing the doors off it so far in all the polls. It doesn't matter.
Well, look, I mean, if you look at what the American people think out there, there's only 30% of the American people not even think socialism is remotely compatible with our country. And you have Joe Biden, who is reluctantly starting to creep to the left. And what you have to do, I think, and everyone has to put their mindset in the Midwest, the president won by 36 electoral votes. Wisconsin, 10, Michigan, 16, and Pennsylvania's 20. That's 46 of important electoral votes that the president needs. You cannot win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania on a $93 trillion Green New Deal at $600,000 per household, $32 trillion in a health care package. It's not going to work. So the Trump campaign, I believe, is going to jam down the throats of every person that's watching a television these numbers. That's why Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, all the things you talked about in your opening statement.
They're all rebooting, rebranding, resetting, redoing. I mean, but they're trying to figure out Trump. For them, Trump's like an amoeba. They're trying to nail him. They can't, because they hit him here, he moves here. It's very interesting to see them try to run against a explosive economy.
Well, it's an explosive economy, and Trump's an explosive candidate.
Right, but he's gonna get right in your face. He's not this guy who's gonna play defense. He's gonna right in your face.
Right. So
these
numbers, these numbers, 600,000 per household for what they're talking about, they're going to have to account for voters in western Pennsylvania and central Michigan. How are we going to pay for it? So even voters that voted for Trump reluctantly in 2016, they love what he does, they might not like sometimes how he does it, they're going to be looking and say, wait a minute, now, I don't like everything about Trump, but this is crazy stuff. Which is why Biden, to your question, this is why Biden is a little bit different than the rest of the pack.
But he came out tonight against the Hyde Amendment. He wants to repeal the Hyde Amendment, meaning you would fund, I believe, abortions overseas, right?
Yeah, so he's creeping along this crazy left position that these folks are taking. If the election just is a referendum on Trump, it gives some of the Democrats an opportunity. It's like every president, like every candidate, right? Well, but if it's about socialism, reparations, Green New Deal, the Electoral College,
no, you're not.
It's not going to work.
Running that I'm a nicer person than Donald Trump, and
that's not going to work.
If it means people are going to take money out of your pocketbook. They're coming for your wallet. They're coming for your money. They're the ones who want to make decisions for you. For me, Bernie Sanders, I got to play this for you. He's had a different tactic. Now he's going after Trump and targeting him in a different way on the working class base. Let's watch.
What I believe is the way you beat Trump is bringing more people into the political process. And so you expand the base, talking to working people and young people. And we exposed Trump for the fraud that he is when he said that when he campaigned on being a friend of working people.
Well, we have an economy right now that has a number in the threes for unemployment. We have a number in the threes for wage growth. We have a number in the threes on GDP. This isn't a roaring economy. People know. On the economy alone, the president gets an A+.
But they're never making an argument that we're going to raise the GDP by 0.5% more. They're not arguing that they're better than Trump at running the economy. They've never argued that.
The classic Reagan question will be in 2020, are you better off today than you were when he came into office in 2016? And people can say economically they are.
Walker lost Wisconsin. Is Trump in any danger of losing Wisconsin?
Oh, I think that the president's, I think for a Republican to win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania at any given presidential election is going to be tough. It's going to be a fight. This is not going to be easy. It doesn't matter what everyone's saying. This is going to be a fight. And, you know, the Democrats are energized. The Republicans will be energized. This is going to be the biggest political battle in modern history.
You're going to be out there?
I'm going to be out there, sure. I'd love it. I can't stop from being out there. That's why I'm back on your show.
Come on, we got to
So I'm back now.
All right.
I'm going to come back.
Mueller report's over.
Mueller report's over.
Yeah, so your agent's fielding requests. You came
we'll be
across
all right.
pretty well in the Mueller report. My goodness,
Yeah, I
Ryan.
think
No
so.
problems. All right, thanks for being here
You
tonight.
bet.
Come back soon.
Oh, Pennsylvania, you old friend. Oh, those Amish, they're so farmish. Once again, shaping up to be among the most important states in the 2020 election. Tonight at a rally there, President Trump promised to make the state a top priority. Watch.
I'll be seeing a lot of you over the next year. I'll be here a lot. Got to win this state. Got to win this state. We did great last time. Remember the polls, the fake polls that they put out? Suppression. They call them suppression polls. Pennsylvania will go to Hillary Clinton. Unfortunately for them, didn't work out that way.
Oh, we got to win this state. All right. The president has a problem. A new Quinnipiac poll shows Democratic frontrunner Joe Biden leading the president 53-42 in the Keystone State. The former vice president has chosen Philadelphia as his campaign headquarters and officially kicked off his campaign with a speech there on Saturday. So can anyone win the White House without winning Pennsylvania? Here with me tonight, GOP pollster and WPA Intelligence CEO Chris Wilson is back, fresh off the outnumbered couch today.
It was a fun time.
It was absolutely glorious. So let's shift gears and talk about Joe Biden's game in Pennsylvania. How critical is it to a victory for him?
I think it's critical for Donald Trump that he win it. It's 20 electoral votes. It's tough to figure out where those would come from and where he would replace them. I think it's smart of Biden to kick off his campaign from there and to base his headquarters there. And it was impressive for what Donald Trump did tonight. I mean, the academic literature in political science tells you that rallies are really the most important indicator of what happens, and it's the most important indicator in terms of how you can persuade voters. And you look at the turnout that Donald Trump had tonight, and it harkens back to 2016. Whenever the polling in 2016 for Hillary Clinton looked about like that poll you just showed from Quinnipiac showing the Biden lead. But Trump was showing up. He was getting big rallies. But I'll give Biden credit. He's probably already done more to try and turn out the vote in Pennsylvania than Hillary Clinton did in all of 2016.
Oh, boy, are they internalizing her failed lessons.
They have. He's going to Michigan. Other having the convention in Wisconsin. They are truly learning the lessons of that. But the other challenge they think they've got is they're fighting the last war. And the other thing literature shows us is that fighting the last war is usually does not lead to success.
Yeah.
And I really believe it is the Trump campaign, as he moves to now kicking off his reelection effort, has got the wind at their sails from an economic standpoint. I mean, lowest unemployment for African Americans, lowest unemployment for Hispanics, lowest unemployment in 50 years, lowest unemployment for women. They have, wages are up. And you look at just Pennsylvania alone, in the last 2 years under Donald Trump, 5,000 manufacturing jobs created. Under the 8 years of Obama-Biden, 50,000 manufacturing jobs lost. And so the contrast there does not work in Biden's favor. It works in Donald Trump's favor.
It doesn't, and I think you're right about that. And you know, the case that Biden will make is the Obama economy set the president up for this economic proliferation, which is one way of putting, at some point, this administration gets to take credit for the economy. What I want to know, and these are two hot button issues for voters in the Midwest, immigration and the trade war with China. Which one is more important for the president to shore up in order to gain more of a foothold in those states? Well,
it depends on how you define shoring up. I think right now what the president is doing in terms of taking on China and the challenges that Joe Biden has in terms of the vulnerabilities he has around China are pretty dramatic. And I think the American public, and the data shows this, is behind the president taking a strong stand on foreign policy. There was a lot of problems that existed, and I speak about this again from a public opinion standpoint in sort of the Obama-Biden apology tour and the fact that they allowed what the American people saw as foreign countries to kind of push us around, and the fact that...
And it looks like Biden wants to go back to that in terms of how he's talking about China and minimizing China, saying they're not really a threat to us, but that is their reason for being.
That's right.
Is they've got a 50-year plan to rule the world and be the single global hegemon.
$1 trillion invested in our economy right now. It is the challenges that exist right now with China and our economy and moving forward cannot be understated. And I think, I should say, cannot be overstated. And I think the fact that Biden is trying to downplay those is a real problem for him. And if the American public begins to focus on that becomes an issue in the campaign, that's really, you look at what is the Biden shot to
Okay,
winning,
so if the honeymoon is still happening, when it ends, does Bernie make up enough ground to become the front runner?
It's a great question. Who becomes the anti-Biden candidate?
Yes.
And at this point,
because they're all going to attack him.
They are.
But they have to define themselves in a four-dimensional way in order to take the front runner spot.
They do, and as each one of them try and grab their different lanes. And you look at like the Buttigieg town hall from this weekend. I mean, he's trying to become sort of the younger, policy-oriented, left of center, but middle left type of candidate. And look, Bernie Sanders right now is becoming the candidate of older white male socialists, and that's a pretty thin lane to run in. And he's going to have to grow beyond that.
Yeah,
and
you
his
said that
numbers
Bernie has a lot of problems with minorities and women.
He does. When he moves into the South, he did well in Iowa and New Hampshire, but he did that, Kennedy, because it was the anti-Hillary Clinton candidate.
Yeah.
And can he do that just off of being the anti-Biden candidate when there's 22, or I don't know, maybe it'd be 24,
No,
25
I think you're absolutely right. It's a totally different
through.
race. You have to look forward. You can't look back. You
That's right.
can't use your playbook from 4 years ago or 20 years ago, and that's a mistake losing candidates make. Chris Wilson, come back early and often.
Anytime.
Very good.